Hello, this is Riley Porter with Seattle Sumo. You are listening to a commentary track for the 1964 Natsu Basho, Day 5. The video coverage for this tournament can be found on the Japan Sumo Association's YouTube channel. There will be a link for that below, and accessed with a $9 monthly membership. As usual, I will count backwards from 3, 3, 2, 1. As I hit the N in 1, you'll click play on the video coverage. I'll do the same, and we will be in sync for the day's action. And without any further ado, I will start the countdown and get us started. 3, 2, 1. Futabayama, Taiho, Chianofuji, Archive. Alright, coming to day 5, rounding out the first third of the tournament. Get a view of the front row here. I mentioned yesterday that we were in the Ryogoku Kokugikan. Correction, this is the Kuramai Kokugikan. Same purpose-built stadium, but in a different neighborhood in Tokyo. Our first match is between Tochi Oyama and Juryo guest Futasegawa, filling in for the absence, for Amatsukaze's absence. Makes an uneven number of Dikishi in the top division. Futasegawa, the top Dikishi for Asahiyama stable. Futasegawa gets to shoving on the chest there. Good pushing attack. Tochi Oyama's trying to cut inside, but he gets pulled down by Futasegawa. Hataki Komi slapdown. The head-to-head coming into today was 4-2 in Futasegawa's favor, and now it is 5-2. Futasegawa, just 21 years old. He made his top division debut at the end of last year, but couldn't quite stick it. Maybe he'll be back soon enough. Next up, Waka no Kuni, up against Waka Haguro. Both with Waka, from different stables, of course. Otherwise, they wouldn't be matched together. Waka no Kuni a little soft, but he gets to some tsupari, some thrusting attacks on Waka Haguro's chest and neck. Waka Haguro kind of just pushing into him very gently, but not overcommitting. Almost loses his footing there at the edge. Finds his way back to Waka no Kuni. Now he's really going on the offensive, is Waka Haguro. Waka no Kuni, meanwhile, settles for the belt. Tries to wrench up on the front there. Waka Haguro's looking in a bit of trouble now. But he's hanging on. His heel catches the bales there on the edge. Waka no Kuni drives in again and finally finishes the former Ozeki Yorikiri. Good for Waka no Kuni. That was the fourth meeting between Waka no Kuni and Waka Haguro, and the first time that Waka no Kuni has come out victorious. Perhaps an indictment of Waka Haguro's current form, his downward slide, but in any event, good for Waka no Kuni. Here's Waka Chichibu, Waka no Kuni's stablemate. He's 4 straight coming into today. And it's his first time meeting with top division debutant Kitano Kuni. Kitano Kuni rushes across the line, cuts inside with the left. Waka Chichibu doesn't have the bell yet. There it is, the outside right for Waka Chichibu, and the inside left. I believe Kitano Kuni's also done that, so it's Yotozumo, all 4 hands on, inside left, outside right. Kitano Kuni's outside right grip is broken. Trying to swing from an inside position, but Waka Chichibu is a little too heavy for him, and Waka Chichibu presses in and wins out Yorikiri. So the 5th straight win for Waka Chichibu. Certainly much improved over his last appearance in the top division in the March contest. Looking very solid, and he comes out victorious in his first meeting with Kitano Kuni. Slipping to 2-3. His top division debut is looking a little rocky in this first week. Here's Koto Zakura, picking up the pieces after an injury absence in the last Basho up against Tsune Nishiki. It's a 3-2 head-to-head in Koto Zakura's favor. Tsune Nishiki rushes across the line. He's inside with the left. A bit of a watashi komi there. Grabbing on the back of Koto Zakura's knee as he rushes forward. They call it that watashi komi, a leg grabbing force out. In the event, Tsune Nishiki gets his second win. So already doing better than the last Basho. In March, he only got 1 win. Now he's got 2. So an upward trend. Now it's Fusanishiki up against Kane no Hana. It's a 7-4 head-to-head in Kani no Hana's favor. And blasting in is Kani no Hana, and before Fusanishiki can even react, he's already stepped outside the ring. Well, a very hard charge from Kani no Hana. Perhaps he's taking some tips from stablemate Kitano Fuji as far as increasing the impact of his initial charge, his tachiai. Good stuff from Kani no Hana, picks up his second win on day 5. Here is Iwakaze, Fusanishiki's stablemate, doing a little better already on 4 straight wins up against Wakanami. It's a 2-1 head-to-head in Wakanami's favor. He'll want to get inside deep and start on lifting. Ooh, false start there from Wakanami. Iwakaze hadn't lowered his fists yet. Iwakaze, I think, will want to block Wakanami from getting too far inside with his typical low stance approach. Well, you have to try again on the tachiai there. We just can't get quite synced up. It happens a lot. Alright, they look set this time around. And rushing in is Wakanami, repelled by Iwakaze, who's keeping him outside the belt, but the legs tell all in sumo, and Wakanami just kept moving forward, shoving out Iwakaze. Force out Yorikiri. So Wakanami once again showing that he's not a one-dimensional Dikishi. It's not just about lifting for him. He can make it work with his lower body strength. He's got what's required to stick it in this top division. He gives Iwakaze his first loss. Both Dikishi are 4-1, leaving day 5. Now Deiwa Nishiki is up. Top division veteran, 38 years old. He's been in the top division since 1947. Up against Wakatenryu. Wakatenryu rushes across the line, puts his hand to the throat, but now he's caught up on the arms of Deiwa Nishiki. Putting on a bit of a clamp here. Trying to catch the lighter Wakatenryu before shoving him out. Wakatenryu is fighting with his hands, trying to break up the grip, trying to move his way in. Not a lot of luck yet. I think he's got the outside right, a bit shallow. But Deiwa Nishiki's being pretty careful. It's head-to-head, hand-to-hand. Nobody's got a grip quite yet. They're both jockeying for position. Deiwa Nishiki shoves his way in. He's content to grip on the arm, so it's not so bad for him to get far off the belt. Wakatenryu, on the other hand, I think is a little more desperate for some kind of grip that he can work with. Doesn't want to get strong-armed out of here in a literal sense. Well, they're still jockeying for position here. Forehead to forehead. Deiwa Nishiki tries to break in again. Not getting too far here. Trying to thrust over is Wakatenryu. Now Deiwa Nishiki is behind him, and it looks like doomsday for Wakatenryu. Okuridashi, rear force out by Deiwa Nishiki. It was a 2-0 head-to-head coming into today, and now it's a 3-0 head-to-head. Deiwa Nishiki's got the number of the younger Wakatenryu. Well, he's got a lot of skills, a lot of experience, and he's a bit of a heavyweight, especially on the lower levels here, lower rungs of the Maegashira. Here's Tamanoshima, an up-and-comer, against Hagoroyama, a veteran. They're both 1-3. False start there from Tamanoshima. Hagoroyama wasn't even really crouching yet. It is their first time meeting. We'll see what it looks like. Now Tamanoshima's lagging a bit here. Third time's the charm. They're both belt fighters. Shouldn't be any issue with that. Pressing on the shoulders and trying for a pull down off the bat is Tamanoshima, but it didn't work, so now it's down to Tsupari thrusting. Trying to keep Hagoroyama from getting inside. But Hagoroyama's got a stable lower body. He's not being pushed back. Just trying to fish his way in, and he does just that, but a beautiful Uchigake from Tamanoshima at the last moment saves him before Hagoroyama can really get an attack going. So Tamanoshima showing his technical prowess. He's got skills both on belt throwing and on leg tripping. A pretty versatile Dikishi. Comes out victorious in his first meeting with Hagoroyama. Here's Hagorogawa, and he's up against Kainoyama. It is a 10-8 head-to-head in Hagorogawa's favor. Kainoyama cuts inside with the left and then the right. Double inside for Kainoyama. Hagorogawa's in a bit of trouble here. Kainoyama pressing up on the pit. Keeping that inside grip. raising up Hagorogawa's center of gravity, dropping his own hips. Can't seem to finish him, but he's keeping on the attack here. Hagorogawa definitely on the back foot. Bit of a standoff here at the moment. Hagorogawa's got a grip on the belt. Kainoyama tries to tip him over again with that inner arm, and he does just that. Very nice work from Kainoyama. You saw how he hooked in his hand under the armpit of Hagorogawa. That hazuoshi is what they call it in sumo, the under the armpit grip. And pressing up on that, uses that hooking point, that leverage to jerk up the body of Hagorogawa, reducing his weight on the ground. So very nice work from Kainoyama. Here's Waka Naruto up against Fuji Nishiki. They're both on 1-3. This is their first time meeting. Waka Naruto hasn't been too high up the Banzuke. Fuji Nishiki's got some pretty good experience here in the top division, been around a little while. Waka Naruto closes the distance, then it gets to pulling, and that does the trick. I think they'll call that a Hiyotoshi or a Hataki Komi, a pull down or a slap down. Fuji Nishiki looking a little off balance this basho. No complaints from Waka Naruto, certainly. Well, it looks like we're at the halfway mark of the day's action, so the Shinpan, or the ringside judges, will be shuffling out now. We'll get a new set. Some fresh eyes. Here they come. Everyone's filing into their seat. All Oyakata, all judges, of course, are former Dikishi. That's how the eldership of sumo is constructed. Here's a rising star Kitano Fuji up against Toyokuni. It's a 1-0 head-to-head in Kitano Fuji's favor. Toyokuni's not quite ready yet. Well, Kitano Fuji will want to get inside with a left immediately. Toyokuni will want to keep some distance, get to pushing and thrusting. Certainly wouldn't want to tangle with Kitano Fuji on the inside. That guy is no joke. We'll try again on the Tachiai here. And closing the distance is Kitano Fuji. He's got the outside right, inside left. Well, this is going at his pace, certainly. Toyokuni a little desperate looking here. His grip is broken. Kitano Fuji drops his hips. Almost gets tilted on the edge there. A moment of hope for Toyokuni, but dashed very quickly. He's thrust down to the ground. I think that's Unuwate Nage or a Tsukiotoshi. It came from the right side, I think. Kitano Fuji was gripping it there. Well, a 4th win out of 5 for Kitano Fuji. Puts him in pretty good position coming out of the first third of this basho. Should work his way up to back to Sanyaku pretty quickly. Here's Ogi Nohana, yet to pick up a win in this basho. He's up against Sawa Hikari, who's looking pretty fierce this time out. But it is a 2-0 head-to-head in Ogi Nohana's favor. Should give him some hope to break his losing trend. Even start here. Ogi Nohana's the one rushing across and bring Sawa Hikari to the bales in short order, forcing him out Yorikiri. So it looks like he did take some confidence from his head-to-head with this up-and-comer. Ogi Nohana gets his first win of this basho, and his 3rd straight over Sawa Hikari in 3 meetings. Gets some Kensho Kintu, some prize money to cap things off. Well, Ogi Nohana, maybe this will be his... maybe this will be him turning a new chapter, a new leaf for this basho. They'll review the front row here. Here's Dekiyama Oyakata, the former Shio no Umi, an Ozeki for Dewano Umi stable, retired in the very early 50s. And here is Tsurugamine up against Wakamiyama. It's a 2-0 head-to-head in Wakamiyama's favor, and he could use the win. He's 1-3 coming into day 5 here. Tsurugamine is across the line, inside with the right, but Wakamiyama's locking up that arm with both of his. Looks like he's trying for some kind of arm-barring force out here. Tsurugamine puts on an outside leg trip. They're moving to the edge, but a little pirouette secures the win for Wakamiyama. He twists down Tsurugamine. I think they'll probably just call that a Tsukiotoshi, a thrust over. In any event, Wakamiyama makes it 3-0 in his head-to-head against Tsurugamine and picks up a much-needed 2nd win here on day 5. Komusubi debut is never an easy one. Very few Dikishi have had a great time of it. The Wakamiyama's looking solid so far. Despite sounding, his name sounds a lot like Takamiyama, which is a Takasago Shikona, but he is from the Tatsunami stable. Here's Aono Sato, belt fighter from Tokitsukaze stable, up against Tochi Hikari. Tochi Hikari cutting inside with the left there, trying to force out Aono Sato quickly, but Aono Sato's got the outside right. Looks like he wants to throw. Tochi Hikari, he synced up his outside right. Looks like Yotozumo, all four hands on. Well, it could go either way, I believe. Though it is an 11-5 head-to-head in Tochi Hikari's favor, so he'd be the one to bet on out of the gate. Now it's a stalemate in the middle, so hard to say where it's going to go. Both these Dikishi are proficient belt fighters. Tochi Hikari tries to bust in, doesn't get too far. Aono Sato leaning, being pretty patient. Maybe he'd like to try for that outside throw again. Kind of leaning, adjusting his balance. Maybe testing the waters a bit to see if he can throw off Tochi Hikari. Boy, it's a stalemate, certainly. Aono Sato kind of just gently adjusting his position, his balance here. Tochi Hikari, he looks a bit more eager to go for a forward drive, while Aono Sato seems to be trying to prepare his own stance here. Tochi Hikari driving in again. Aono Sato, he keeps his back foot solid, but doesn't get to any forward drive. Well, now he's moving. Not very far. Grip change, Aono Sato wants to cut in, but it doesn't work. That throws him off, and Tochi Hikari tosses him out. Well, that's either an underarm throw or a thrust over, one or the other. Kind of a messy finish, but Tochi Hikari, Kadoban Ozeki in danger of demotion, picks up his 4th win on day 5, so things keep up at this rate. He should save rank without too much issue, and maybe even, well, probably not before he has Sanyaku opponents. It's a pretty full Sanyaku schedule, so no easy ride for the Ozeki this time out. Tochi Hikari certainly worked for the victory today. And here is Sadanoyama, certainly looking like a championship contender this time out. He's 4 straight, up against Sekiwake Daigo. Though you might be somewhat surprised to learn the head-to-head is 8-6 in Daigo's favor. So this Hanakago Dikishi has the edge on the Ozeki. Let's see how this shakes out. Sadanoyama cuts inside with both. It's a double inside, and he's lifting, and he drops Daigo out of the ring. Well, once again, we see Sadanoyama's technical mind. He wanted in, he forced his way in, and then he executed on his game plan. That's 5 straight for this Ozeki. He's looking indomitable at the moment. Meanwhile, Sekiwake Daigo picks up his 4th loss in 5 days. Well, it's looking like an Ozeki run is not quite going to be the way things go for Daigo. He might be lucky at this point just to save his own Sekiwake status, which he's held on to for a little while now. Can't last forever. Well, here's Kairyu Yama, and he's only at the beginning of a Sekiwake career. This is his first boss show at the rank, and he's up against Ozeki Yutakayama today. It's a 7-2 head-to-head in the Ozeki's favor. Should be feeling confident. He's already got 2 losses, though. Not looking 100% solid. Yutakayama's trying to cut inside with the left. And he does. He's in deep. Kairyu Yama's got the outside right. This should work in Yutakayama's favor, I think. He might just go for the lift himself. We'll see. Kairyu Yama's prone. Bit of a stalemate here. They're both waiting and catching their breath. Looking for the appropriate opportunity to make the attack. Kairyu Yama tries for a grip flip, a Makikai, and he does just that. He's inside now with the right. Yutakayama gets to lifting, flexes his back, and that'll do it. Couldn't quite get Kairyu Yama off the ground, but it was enough to upset his balance and reduce his weight. A 4-set victory, Yorikiri for Yutakayama. So, he moves to 3-2 on day 5. I think Yusho hopes are a bit in doubt here at this point, but he could still pull off an upset. He could still get double digits, and he could still upset the Yokozuna. So we'll see. Keep your eye out for Yu Takayama. He's one of the most physically gifted Dikishi in this division, so hopes are always high. Well, here's his stablemate, Kitabayama. Looking good. 4 straight. He's up against Maedagawa. The head-to-head is 6-4 in the Ozeki's favor. That and Maedagawa is coming off of a major win yesterday over Yokozuna Taiho, so he should be feeling pretty good about himself at the moment. Kitabayama gets that shallow grip with the right. He's inside with the left. This is working off the Ozeki's pace. Maedagawa is already in trouble. Kitabayama's moving his way forward. Maedagawa wants to break off that grip, but it's just not happening. Kitabayama takes that Mawashi, squeezes all the life out of it, and shoves it into the chest of Maedagawa, forcing him out Yorikiri. Kitabayama, he's 5 straight. Looking very good in this contest so far. Maedagawa, despite getting that very nice gold star yesterday, falls to 1-4 coming out of day 5, so he might still pull a losing record. It has happened to many Dikishi. They upset a Yokozuna, but still can't get that Kachikoshi. Here is Taiho, man of the hour. He finally lost a bout yesterday for the first time in, well, a couple tournaments, really. He's first loss of the whole year. He's up against Kiyokuni. Now, they've only met once. That went to Taiho, of course. These two were neck and neck for the Hatsu Basho. They were both, I think, 14-0 coming into day 15. Could have been a playoff, but Kiyokuni got picked off by Daigo. Well, this time around, Tsupari from Kiyokuni, he's slapping at the chest of the Yokozuna. Taiho bats the arms away and finally secures that outside right grip. Loses it, but he tries for an arm lock throw. Now he's locking up the arms again. Looking for that outside grip, can't quite grit it. And then, finally, cupping the back of Kiyokuni's neck, he forces him down. So I think they might just call that a Tsukiotoshi, a thrust down. Taiho looking a little shaken. Not looking quite as unstoppable as he was in the last couple tournaments. Entirely possible that he took on an injury or an illness. Maybe he's got a cold, maybe he twisted something and didn't want to bandage it. Hard to say. In any event, he is 4-1. Maybe he won't lose another match this whole bout. Basho, maybe he'll win the whole thing. Here's Tochinomi, another Yokozuna that's taken a week 1 loss. He's up against Hirokawa Shin Komosubi. 3-0 head-to-head in the Yokozuna's favor. And before he gets blasted out, he gets that frontal grip on the belt. Almost gets pulled down by Hirokawa, but he's deep inside with the left, and the right now is on the outside. A Shitate Nage underarm throw from the Yokozuna seals the win. Well, it's never easy for Tochinomi. A lightweight technician like him always has to work extra hard for the win in this open weight sport, but you saw there he had his plan, and had he missed the mark on that Tachiai, had he not gotten the grip immediately, he might have gotten blasted away. That was a pretty hard charge from Hirokawa. Went right to the throat. But Tochinomi, he is very sharp, great senses, knows his positioning, and he got the grip. Gets the win. 4-1 coming out of day 5. Our final match of the day is between Top Maegashira Myobudani and Yokozuna Kashiwado. It's a 5-3 head-to-head in Kashiwado's favor. Myobudani, one of the few Dikishi taller than he. I believe the 2 tallest are Myobudani and Yutakayama. They're tied. Kashiwado, he's got the outside left and barrels his way to the edge, crushing out Myobudani Yoritaoshi. Well, Kashiwado seems to have a hard time stopping himself from shooting out of the ring like a rocket, win or lose. You can see how the glass Yokozuna gets himself broken so much, but he is in the lead at this point. He's 5 straight. He's the only Yokozuna without a loss of the 3. So maybe this is time for Kashiwado to make a comeback. He did look very solid in the last Basho. Were it not for Taiho, he would have won the whole thing. And now Taiho is falling behind. We'll just see what happens. That's the end of the first third of this Basho. Thank you for joining me.